Orbital, and I will be here with the Grand Finals along the Smashing Rav, who is here for the semifinals, watching the same Kai'Sa player come out on top. ValeG took it and is now going off to face off against Slay, running the Viktor here today. Rav, I'm excited to see this matchup. It's one that I think a lot of people are fairly familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a throwback tech, I guess. Is it allowed to be called throwback at this point? I mean, it's only one extra set. But, I mean, Victor
you know,
Kaisa, some old matches.
you know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Go ahead and drop down on what we are to expect for this matchup.
Yeah, so as we saw in the last match, Kaiser's running that mech build now. So it's still running a little bit of
Mhm.
tempo, a little bit heavier on the mech build. So you have the Ferocious Forerunner, you have something like the Forecasters, you have the still Cathian range, you have the Void Seekers, you have all the usual stuff with Darius and Thousand Tail Watcher. Pretty much still run that same type of build where Victor varies. So we haven't seen this Victor on stream yet, but a lot of the
Yeah.
build that's going around Victor is quote unquote prison. And what that is that it's pretty much saying, oops, all kill spells.
Mhm.
I run one unit, that is my champion, and I'm going to make tokens and kill spells unit. So we'll see if it's going to be the same exact list. It might be a little bit different. Like I said, everyone plays something varies. This is what these events are for on the build because I've heard Slay is undefeated on the day, which is wild.
Yeah. If I take a look back at the bracket and I want to double check this, Slay is the only undefeated. There were two for there was a 4-1-0 with one, I think that was Irritorum, who went 4-1-0 with one tie in there, but it was yeah, only one to go 5-0 and really put the pressure on. So I'm very interested. I believe we're into game though, and we're hopping up with what looks to be some spells in the hand for the Kai'Sa as well. Slay drawing some higher cost payments, so might not be able to see some units on the board, but a couple spells to delay on the other side as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Slay with a little bit different because it's already different out the rip. Because Slay does have
Hmm.
pickpockets, they have Zinzao in here, which are already new cards, so it's not the usual prison as far as you know. But Kai'Sa does have the normal setup. We're going to drop that Forecaster nice and early, get those vision with mechs, and now we're going to try and hit something like our production surge or something like that, get some mechs and get that vision off the top while we're just trying to keep up these kill spells.
Yeah, give it a little bit of time. We go in ahead and take a look. The pickpocket is out to start, setting themselves up. Nice play, of course. Getting some of those units out on board. Forecaster to match and immediately placed onto the battlefield, saying, hey, we're going to get things started. Point up on the Triferian War Camp.
Yeah, I think it works a lot better in something like the Forecaster taking this Trevor War Camp. It gets up to 3 might. There is a risk it is possibly trade with the pickpocket later on, especially with a Hexac Rare or something like that. But you want to get those points as much as possible because if you're expecting a prison deck build, you need to get those points as early as possible and then try and close that out later on. If you let the game go too long with no points, then Victor's just going to go ahead and run away with it.
Well, we go ahead and see exactly where that speed is starting. A little bit of a quick tap, get that token out, but a drop of 3 to bring the Zinzao out to the battlefield as well, making sure to have it ready with that token so you can immediately battle it out, not allow that Triferian War Camp, and with a 5-3 setup, bumped up technically a little bit because of the Triferian, unless there's a response on the back end, which you do have 4 runes. Do you want to stall the Zinzao? Yes, you do. Hex Tech Ray and the first annihilation. Bye bye, Zinzao.
Yeah, Hexac Rare's going to come out. Now, the question is if we're going to... Okay, yep, so it's going to resolve the way we get the trade. I wasn't sure if we're going to try and do the weird, different... Actually, no, we couldn't because Piercing Light
Yeah,
is
there was
not an
only one
action.
rune left, right?
Yep, Piercing Light is not an action. It's that green text box. I don't know why we decided to do action and repeat in the same color text box, but hey, it is what it is.
Mans is already beefing with the card.
I'm gonna beef
Jeez,
now.
man.
Everything's green, man. Death Kneel, action, repeat. Why is it all green?
What other color would you want then? Like, are we gonna slam like a pink?
Sure, I'm okay with pink. Just something that I'm a guy. I don't. We're card gamers. We don't read cards. I go off of visual cues. I see green box and go, oh yeah, it's action. Like
We're just artists out here. Artists wanting to play with our little art cards. That's so real. All right,
Yeah,
getting back to the
good.
game though. A quick drop of the pickpocket onto the Triferian, but the Zon Warren's taken over by the Kai'Sa, brought out on the side of Vale. Vale trying to keep up that momentum, so we are at 2-2 apiece. And as you were saying, Rav, a lot of those high power costs. Taking a look, a lot of those spells ready to try and duplicate and annihilate the opponent if given the opportunity.
Yeah, especially looking ahead at Victor, we have the setup with Cola Week. So Grudge and Hidden Blade, but I imagine Cold Week might come out here, kill that Kai'Sa off the battlefield. Just pretty much the main game plan. Keep Kai'Sa off of units, and you can't tempo me if you have nothing to take those tempo swings back. If you're just going to try and match me card for card, my card has more value because I just make tokens. I don't need these units to get me through this game plan, and that's exactly what you're seeing. It looks like.
Yep, quick token, take away, delete, and again, we mentioned this before. The fact that you drew so many rough units early. The Forerunner obviously is a high-paying card. It's a little difficult to even lay down what we were talking about. This fact of trying to get some sort of movement on the board. It's not just, it feels like, that Slay is denying you. It even feels like your own hand is kind of denying you at this point. You can't really feel too much now. Being able to draw one of those tech units, maybe giving yourself a little bit of space to work for, but instead you're going to Falling Star very quickly and wipe the entire battlefield fairly nicely. It's a high cost payment, but it is one that I think needed to be done.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely had to be done to try and set the game back a little bit more in your tempo and make Slay just go off of tokens. Especially now at this point, you could try and set up some of your own field, but you don't really want to just yet. I don't think we're going to drop something like this. I might be wrong, because we have Gen Jammer. We do have Production Surge to try and set up these board states, try and re-get the value, and then try and make it. It's like, hey, I'm tempo, you're tempo. Do you have more kill spells? And I can drop units at this point and trying to go it off of that way.
Well, back on over here, taking a look at Slay, who, for their own, is sitting on a pretty penny of I hate you cards, is the best way I'm going to put it. Out comes the Viktor, though. You got to play a little bit more, and we drop a Recruit in as well. Just starting things up, so this should be at least a battlefield claimed in one way or another, but you have to know with 2 runes available, you can possibly drop a Cold Week, but a quick Falling Star to wipe, and it's a good call. I think lost a little vision there, but that was a very powerful play coming out of Vale.
Yeah, no. Very good play. And yeah, so I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's a 1-0 for Kai'Sa.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about this, because we are seeing this obviously a little bit more with the identification of, is our win con gone, right? Is our win con gone, or have we already been tripped up where we can't even gain momentum? If that's true, why was that the clincher for those that maybe don't look at Viktor that much?
Yeah, so pretty much there's a clincher because Viktor is only running 1 champion card. And as you saw, maybe a couple units with the Zinzao and the Pickpocketer, but Viktor is your main one, because the main point of the champion of Viktor is that it has, hey, when you cast this on your opponent's turn, make a token. So pretty much your way you use these kill spells is you pretty much leave Viktor in the backline of your base and go kill spell, kill spell, kill spell on your opponent's turn, flood the board of tokens, and come in. And that you lost that token generation, or the extra token generation, which really speeds it up. So you pretty much go, yeah, I don't really have a way to get this back, or it's just going to be a slog, and my 1-drop Dinkers don't really trade well into a board of Darius and Watcher.
Yeah. Tough time, but well recognized and well played coming out of Vale, who is showing that this new modified Kai'Sa deck with a couple more of those extra pieces, a lot more of those extra units, are going to play very, very well. For Slate, we're looking at this one. Can you bounce back? You were off to a good start and then just got mollywopped, it feels like, with the Falling Stars. And guess what? There might be another one that you don't know about. So we'll see how that plays out. Starting things off, though, turn 1 over to Slay.
Yeah, I do see a couple different cards in here. We do now have the Jace. I don't know if this was a post-sideboard card or not, because some run it main, some run it sideboard. But Jace is the card that gets to go ahead when you play me kill a friendly gear. So we might be having a couple extra gear cards than I expect in this list. I'm not too sure how many gear cards we're running outside of maybe seals. So I'm curious to see how much this comes into play with this list.
Interestingly enough, I think that's main deck as well. So this was actually that's what I was taking a look at as well. Just, yeah, main deck. We're going to see if it plays out. We're going to see a little bit different as well. A little bit more darker battlefield. The Ravenbloom Conservatory. When you defend here, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a spell, put it in your hand, and otherwise recycle it for those that are interested. I think that's a little different one to come on out most in the new set. So it's nice. On the flip, though, you go ahead and get the Shiny Shiny Whirlpool, as I like to call it. It's a nice one.
Yeah, especially good when you're trying to get all these kill spells off the top. I mean, granted, at this point, if you look at Slice Hand, it's not a lot of kill spells. There's 2.
No.
A lot more units this time around. But hey, it gets there, it gets there.
Well, okay. We say that, and yet we also saw poor Slay have to concede the last one after getting kind of deck wiped 2 turns in a row and just being like, crap, okay, that doesn't work. So we'll see if they can also understand that there might be some difficulties ahead. You recognize that for Vale, as long as you hold that falling star, it's going to be a pain in the backside. 2 units currently set up as we swap back to Slay, who is still earning maybe a few of those points for themselves up to now, as you were talking about, building that building those victory points ASAP to help stabilize and defend against what Vale will bring later on.
Yeah, especially because you're going to see now coming out, we have the pick pocket coming out. So, actually, I just realized, I totally forgot, gold, our gear token.
Ooh.
So that's what you can sacrifice to any of those kill gear abilities is gold. So that is a line we could see, but like you mentioned, that falling star is going to come out. I mean, is that valuable? Like, I don't know. I feel like you're okay as Slay if you see a falling star target one high tokens and then one other unit. Like, okay.
Yeah, you're not upset because, again, when it comes to the falling star, that's literally what ruined you last time. And this one, I feel like you have a bit better of a time with a lot of the extra tokens out there. Okay, just a heads up, I don't think you can have negative points, negative victory points. If there is actually a negative victory point, I actually be very impressed at that card. But we're taking a look here. It is also going to be a retreat played, forced out. So keep that forecaster in hand for the time being, comfortably sat for the upcoming Slay turn.
Yeah, definitely good to save the forecaster, preventing something like that blood money to go ahead and get 2 more gold tokens. Granted, don't know that Slay has a second one in hand to set up for later on, but I think it's a good thing to keep Kai'Sa off something for Raven Conservatory, because you thought Viktor had a lot of tempo. Kai'Sa getting spells off the top for free is, ooh.
Yeah.
I would take Falling Stars and Void Seekers for free all day long.
That might be it, but the Vanguard Armory is available to be used if you wish to flood the board a little bit more. It is costly, so you're praying that there's not too many spells in the back end, but this is already identified. There it is once again. Move on over, Slay, saying thank you for the 4th point. And I will go ahead and leave the Storm on the other side over to Vale. Vale does have to be a little bit worried about how quickly this is climbing up right now, and double check.
Well, the thing in hand, though, you say it's expensive, but what Jace does is when you're playing kill-friendly gear, so he gets to go ahead and kill a gold token, and when you do, you may play gear with energy cost no more than 7 from your turn for your turn, ignoring its cost. So you can play Jace, kill your gold, and go ahead and get that Vanguard Armory out.
Ooh.
That might be the line we're setting up here.
Yeah, all right, listen, new cards, all the fun, and there it is, number 1, slam on down. Welcome to the pain train, and all of a sudden, Vale really wishes that they had that falling star and maybe a different type of board wipe. Welcome to 3 tokens, and all of a sudden, that poor soldier on the other side might be looking for a dangerous point to play. Vale, do you have a response? Can you top deck anything? Bring out the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Kai'Sa can come out. I mean, we don't gonna get the rain, but Kai'Sa going to try and back up something like this Void Gate or try and take over Ravenbloom, especially the fact that Ravenbloom, there was what's the card? Look up Blood Money. They're going to kill your 2-drop, so try and bait out something a little bit stronger in that case. So backing it up a little bit, but Blood Money's still going to come on down.
Yeah, give it a little bit of time, and you overload. Now all of a sudden, it's a call as we get to see the plunder be used, but the Kai'Sa still holds steady, drawing out once more as you get another Stupefy. Anchor to the back of the head will never feel good, but for Vale, they've been able to climb right back up and come within 1, but the storm is just a brewing.
Yeah, now what we're sort of looking at Slay's turn. Slay now has Zinzao that can come in ready, because in fact we have way more than two more units in our base.
No, I never would have guessed, right?
Yeah, never. And we don't really want to play as Jace yet, because I imagine we're just going to dig for Vanguard Armory, but this might just be the game of I have to flood tokens, because you don't have kill spells, you don't have anything else in hand. Or is this going to be like just keep on flooding, and then all of a sudden just wing in for big math is, I guess, what we're hoping for at this point. I mean, Kai'Sa's gonna. You don't want to keep on going past go with Kai'Sa though, with the Ferocious Forerunner in hand.
It's a spot to be a little bit careful, and I like that Slay is taking a little bit more time. I believe game 1 went very, very quickly, and so Slay kind of recognizing that I can't overestimate or underestimate what can come out. So it is going to be a board flood over on the left-hand battlefield. It is going to be tough to deal with. Now, are we going to buff up, or does ValeG just give? I believe that's a grand total. I'm looking at about 8 might swing in on its own. I wonder if that's going to be challenged in any way. I don't think there is a big response, right?
No, I mean, the best you could do is, yeah, Stupefy is going to be out in this Jace, give it to -3. Maybe top deck something to get a little bit better. I mean, you can get a Void Seeker, I guess, but Void Seeker doesn't get this there. We would need to, yeah, not even Hextech Ray gets it there.
Yeah. Feels a little bit bad, but
yeah, Stupefy still has that. Yeah, Stupefy still has that little condition of Origin cards where it says to a minimum of 1. Isn't this new set 2 logic where you get to go to 0?
Don't tell me that. Listen. I've yet to play against that, and I really don't want to deal with it. Watching a big swing and then just get annihilated in a 0 factor is just like, I'm gonna go cry in a corner.
Hey, thankfully it's only a couple cards, but yeah, because it's like you could Hextech Ray Jace, but you're still 4 into 4 here because of the it's 4 might into 4 tokens.
Yep.
So not much else we can do about that. So I imagine this is going to probably resolve. I mean, unless you want to clean even trade, which could be what the line that he's thinking of at this point, is that he wants to go ahead and shoot with Hextech Ray to kill Jace, clear up all the tokens with Hopeful, and then just start with a clean slate.
Yep, immediately like you called it. And not only that, you also preserve your own victory point status in there, and the fact that you don't allow an extra step up in there. You don't allow ValeG to kind of come back in that sense, or sorry, you don't allow it to get even worse. However, recruits are going to come right back out. You have set up once again for Slay, ready to go for the next turn. So I'm looking at ValeG going, you got to find something off the top of your deck very, very soon, because there's Xin Zhao, and now you get another issue to deal with.
Yeah, so Xin Zhao is going to get to come on in here. It's going to be a trade, but you do have the Raven Bloom trigger. Ooh, and that's a Falling Star. Looking at the top, I mean, still pretty good. Not as amazing, but still good enough to clear up these tokens later on your turn. But you're going to lose your only other unit at this point. And you're just going to try to set up the first. Oh, actually, no, I forgot we had the second Stupefy.
Oh, it's been sitting on the left-hand side the entire time. I believe that was at turn 1 is where you drew it out of the original, and you go ahead and Stupefy, and that's a rough turn. I think for Slay, that actually annihilates a lot of what you wanted. That was the big play at the very end. It felt like a lot of the tokens, a lot of the generation, you just toss it out there, the Jace plus. And yet, ValeG still sits with the Kaisa on the table.
Yeah, it's still going to sit there. You can go ahead and now Falling Star 2 of these tokens. Oh, I guess we're going to Falling Star this Viktor more.
Oh no!
Kill
this is what caused the concede. By the way, last time I want to point that out. This is what caused the concede in game 1.
It's not looking too good, but instead, I guess we're going to go ahead and start with the Gem Jammer first. At this point, give ganking, move over, get 2 conquer points.
Easy, and very, very free. You go ahead and draw a couple rockets to play with. All of a sudden, dangers are abound, and it's in the base as well. Can you use it? Oh, that's bye-bye armory. That's gonna hurt.
But I imagine we're about to just throw this rocket barrage into this armory, and we have enough to do both and kill the Viktor on top of it.
So,
I think that's what we did. Oh, that's...
It hurts! 2 in a row. We watched the dismantling of the token draws. And for Slay, you got a Jace in hand. That's not bad, but like, you are stalled very heavily. You gotta find a way to clear a Kaisa as well, and it's just like, I don't like what's happening next.
Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and maybe use something. Yeah, we have this blood money. We can drag under, shoot the Kaisa, try and take over these battlefields a little bit, try and slow it back down. But I mean, you're playing on back foot, because once these tokens go away with this Falling Star, it's not going to look ideal.
Well, you went ahead and were able to clear out Kaisa plus. And you do gather. You're sitting at quite high. Oh. Thankfully, there's not many units on board, so it's like time winding up this way.
Slay's at 6. He's gonna have to double piercing light, kill 2 units, then falling star the other 2. Yeah, he's just gonna have to clear up the board this way to try and. Actually, no. There's only 4 tokens, so it gets to clear up the board at least. Try and prevent an extra turn. Because I just realized I'm like, oh, if he doesn't clear these back tokens, then that's just 8 points. That's double conquer. But no, thankfully there is the world here on the side of Val.
I think he's got. This is getting to be a little bit tight. Drag under again. That's rude. That's rude. That is. This. Unfortunately, the turn will have no answers as the secondary chase comes out. It's been held on the hand. Another token to be drawn. And for Slay, you have bounced back magnificently. Multiple units being played across the angle. And now for the side of ValeG, you're recognizing, I got to clear that right side battlefield. I really got to take care of this or else next turn it might be some trouble.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to try and move in first with the Forerunner just to see if there's any funny business. And that's exactly what's going to happen. See if there's any funny business, then Falling Star if it stays on base and kill the other 2 just to try and prevent that double conquer because you can't allow Viktor to hold at this point. Otherwise, it's victory.
Yeah, Drag Under is out, and that's a rough spot to be in. Mech comes out to play too. But they are exhausted, and you're going to try and push it out a little bit further. Quick turn of everything as you go ahead and send out some extra power to play another turn. Cards out as well for Slay. Slay's got nothing, I don't think, right?
No, Slay's nothing, but actually, I forgot we had a time warp, so we can time warp here, clear up the battlefield again, hold both, clear both now with the Falling Star.
Mm-hmm.
And then buy yourselves an extra turn to go up to 7, and it makes it a little bit harder for your opponent to come back because they're going to draw 1 card, and you would have to try and clear it with something like the Jace, I imagine? Oh.
All right, listen, if there's ever a way to top deck in Grand Finals, this has been like 3 turns of that.
Yeah, that's a little
what was it?
brutal.
It was Time Warp last time into a Cathian Ray. Like, look, this is... There are levels to disrespect of where luck decides to sit. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Forget all my analysis, because it doesn't matter what I say, because this pops like something way better every time. Like
that Falling Star being the main clincher at the end. We were like, yo, Falling Star extra, another turn behind. I cannot believe that just happened. That was a gift from the gods after a tight 2-1 semifinal. Slay has to hit something, and it's a poor Xin Zhao.
And he drew into a second at Catherine, right? If he was able to reach.
Yeah, okay. Like there ain't much, buddy. There ain't much here.
No, that's a board clean. Sadly, I don't. There's not much you can do about that.
No, but it was a good match all the way. I think Slay in this game number 2 had a lot of momentum in there. You saw the token piling towards that mid, and then it just the big push didn't happen, and then the subsequent pushes also fell a little bit short thanks to ValeG's amazing luck at the very end, right? Like this was up against the wall is what ValeG was, and you do everything you needed to punch and bring it back to not only an even state, but the victory and the grand finals for this weekly.